Hello, Princess! It is finally time for our pool chat about Scarlet Lady. Things I hated, things that were just an observation, and things I loved. So, well, let's get started. Let's get the bad out of the way. Here are 6 things that I hated about Scarlet Lady. Clickbaity? Well, you know what? Let's just give it a try. Alright, number 1, the layout. Now, she is not a mega ship. She is a medium-sized ship, so they did have to cram a lot of stuff into not so much space, but it did lead to some weird things, like a lot of dead ends, which, I don't know, aren't the worst thing in the world, but it was a bit, I don't know, unexpected, especially given my immediately previous experience. But finding your way around the ship could be a little bit challenging because, yeah, I would often find myself in the wrong place for a wrong turn, and I don't know, I eventually learned the layout, but yeah, it was just a bit weird how they chose to organize things. Number 2, the stateroom plainness. Now, I know what they were going for. They were going for a clean, modern look. They just went way too far, and the worst thing about it was they seemed to eliminate all the surfaces. That little desk, the whole cruise was like jam-packed with all my daily stuff, which isn't a lot. So there was no like surface to put anything on. No, honestly, there was no place to put the phone to charge or anything without moving things out of the way, and that was kind of annoying. And especially in the bathroom where there was literally no space. I mean, maybe half a square foot for all your stuff, because on the little space next to the sink, they would put the towels and the tissue dispenser, and I think there was one other thing there which left no space for personal items. And I got pointed out there was this whole half mirror by the toilet that they could have used for shelves, and that was kind of annoying. I mean, I may do, but yeah, it was not great. Next, number 3, the TV, the in-room TV. Not that it's a huge thing, but do not expect to use it. It is not great. The only thing they had were a couple of the criminal news networks, like CNN. I think MSNBC was there, and maybe BBC, and that's it. There were some pay-per-view. It was complimentary, but the selection was really limited, and I don't know, it's not really useful. I would hate to get sick or something and be stuck in your stateroom. Of course, with the internet service, there's always the streaming services, so I guess they felt they didn't really have to have too much on the stateroom TV. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I would say why even bother to have it if there's not going to be anything to watch. Number 4, I did not like how they handled trivia, and that's kind of a personal thing. I love cruise ship trivia, but they made it like bigger games, and next time, I will make an effort to participate more, and maybe I'll enjoy it. But, I really like, the bam, 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 bam trivia games. But, I don't know. I get it. They're doing something different, and if I want my trivia fix, I can always sail on Royal or Carnival, and that's fine. But I did miss it, but, easy to get over. Number 5, Elsa's Ice Bath, or what most people would call the thermal suite, the not thermal suite. That was a huge disappointment, completely useless for me because it was way too cold. I talked about this extensively. There wasn't even a hot tub in there. There's 2 ice baths, one tiny little warm tub, and then the regular pool. And and for a thermal suite, it was cold in there. So I don't really regret spending the money, but I would not get it again. And if you're looking for a thermal suite experience, like on Norwegian, yeah, it's not going to be for you. I think you'll be disappointed. And finally, number 6, and not because of the current nonsense, but because the cruise lines were really getting into cleanliness beforehand, no hand wash stations anywhere. The only hand wash station I found, meaning one, was at the entrance to the Korean barbecue. Okay. And that's it. No other hand wash stations anywhere. So, I don't know, I think it's kind of a huge oversight for such a recent build. And I think they really could have done better, especially at the entrance of the galley. But either way, it's for me, I would have appreciated more. Again, my immediately prior experience kind of clouded my judgment on that. But whatever. Maybe Resilient Lady or Scarlet Lady, they can make up for this. So, well, that's 5 things that I hated or really, really disliked about Scarlet Lady. So next, just some observations, and we will get to the things I loved. Some observations that I made, not good, not bad, just things that I noticed and don't necessarily care about, but I'll just remember for next time. The decor, I don't think was anything special. It's just a random modern decor, very similar to some of the other cruise ships. So if they were trying for a particular vibe, there were some touches that were nice, but overall it wasn't that special. So if they were really trying for something special decor-wise, a little bit, but not so much. Yeah, who knows. Anyway, the internet was perfectly serviceable. That's it. It was nothing special. It was not as good as some of the booms I've had, but it worked for everything I needed to. I did buy the upgraded experience, which wasn't that much, by the way, so yeah, definitely worth it. But if you're looking for like reliable internet at sea, they have it, and it was worth it. Some travel companions, they did not buy the upgraded experience, and they were able to do everything they wanted. So maybe next time I'll not get it for a couple days and see how that goes. But yeah, internet, not amazing, not crappy. It just was there and it worked. Next, the pool. They had a pool. I don't know why the pool on Scarlet Lady doesn't get so much love or gets a lot of hate. I thought it was fine. It didn't look small to me. The whole surface area isn't that small. The deep part, maybe, but honestly, how much time do people spend in that part? There was just a nice, large, shallow area for people to just sort of sit in, and I did notice a lot of people doing that. So I think it was perfectly fine. I think they were just going for a pool that works on a year-round cruise. Not so big that it takes up a lot of space in the winter, but not so small that it's not unusable in the summer. And I think it was just a good compromise. It worked out great for the parties. Not going to complain about that. And everybody was having a blast at those parties. So I'm just going to say the pool, it works for what they needed to do. And finally, no, there were no comedians. And to be honest, I didn't really notice this until right at the end, and I didn't miss it. Yeah, I did not miss the lack of comedians. Now, we did have the secret magic show, so it is entirely possible that there was a secret comic act, by secret invitation only, that I missed. I haven't heard anyone talk about that. Of course, I haven't heard anyone else talk about the secret magic show either, so don't really know. I'll be on the lookout next time, but yeah, the lack of comedy shows, yeah, it didn't really bother me. Now, they don't really have a great venue for that, which makes sense, but yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. I mean, even if you like comedy shows and they're not there, it's totally fine. There's plenty of other interesting and unique things to do. Finally, the good stuff, and I gotta try and get through this before the phone overheats again. It is quite bright out here, but it's very nice. The water is nice and warm. Anyway, all right, so I think 12, I think things that I loved about Scarlet Lady. Number 1, and I'll probably lose count, the music. The music playing everywhere on the ship was fantastic. It's a mix of current stuff and classic stuff. I mean, it is Virgin after all, so it totally makes sense, but everywhere the music was great. Even the late night venues, it was just great mixes of popular things. It was not overrun by the typical, what I've mentioned before that you usually get on these Caribbean cruises. None of that, really. Maybe 1 or 2 popular songs, but that's it. Just hearing ABBA late night in the club, amazing, 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 amazing. Number 2, the food. The food was outstanding. Almost everything I had was spectacular, but even the things that were not total hits were really good. I don't think I had, you can watch the reviews, I didn't really have a bad meal or a bad dish anywhere, and it's all complimentary. That is the amazing part. They were able to accomplish all that included in the price of the cruise. So yeah, major props for that. Number 3, the big shows. They are unique, they are entertaining, they are special, and they are fun. I love them. Some of them have gotten a little bit of, not really hate, but I know some people don't understand, but I thought the 2 big shows in the Forward Theater were amazing. And to have the audience participation in the the dance late night thingamajig or whatever. Spectacular, brilliant execution. Next was the small entertainment, the little things, the pop-up shows, like a troop of 5 or 6 that would do these little bits around the ship. Never seen anything like that before, and very creative, very entertaining. So be on the lookout for those, because you're definitely not going to want to miss any of those. Next, I think 5-ish, whatever. No smoking. No smoking anywhere inside. And in fact, I think there was only one smoking section in this, like, way forward, out of the way. You had to, like, pass everything to get there. You know what? Smoke if you want, I don't care, but they just kept it away from everything. And I thought that was great. Not even in the casino. Casino was totally smoke-free. One thing that I particularly found very interesting, novel, and really worked well, there are no registers anywhere. No cash registers or POS systems. Everything is done on handhelds. Everything you order, drinks, food, the crew have the handheld. They just tap your band, do the order, no walking back and forth with anything. It worked so well. It was amazing and fast, and really provided an enhanced level of service that I'm going to start to expect from every other line. Next, no kids. Yeah, sorry, but no kids. I think in this case it allowed people to be a little bit more expressive with how they dressed and everything. I mean, nobody did anything inappropriate, but when there's kids around, people might think a little bit about that and be a little bit casual. But in this case, I think the guests and the entertainers were a little bit free to be more mature about things. Again, nothing inappropriate, but just more fun in an adult kind of way. I said that there didn't seem to be much on the schedule, but the huge benefit about that, and what I loved, was I had no FOMO. That's it. I was not worried about missing anything, because there wasn't enough to miss. And it's a weird way of putting it, but there was nothing that was double booked. I got to see every show, every party, every venue, and I didn't worry about missing something. Even at dinner, missing a show because there would be one later. And I left that ship having done everything I wanted to. The only thing I can think of that maybe I missed was I did not eat at the popcorn stand. That's it. One thing I wanted to try there, and I never got around to it, but that's it. So the lack of all these things going on actually was very calming for me. Next, the debarkation process. Loved it, loved it, loved it. There was no announcements, no numbers, no groups, no constant nagging, get off, get off, get off. In fact, there was no announcement. The ship just docked, they opened the gangway, and people just left at their leisure. In fact, I didn't even know it was happening. I had to go down and ask, are we disembarking? And they're like, yeah, whenever you want. I love that. I love that. There was no congestion in the terminal. I breezed right through immigration, and off to off to Miss Liberty and off home. So the easiest debarkation process that I can remember. Next, no gratuities. And they do make a big deal about this. There's no gratuities. Now, I did ask, if you really want to tip someone, you can. They're supposed to just remind you of the corporate policy, but, they don't want to create guest dissatisfaction by preventing you from tipping, but everything is included. They do pay the crew a good contract wage, and they just build it into the price of the cruise, which is how it should be. And honestly, I didn't really notice a difference in service. In fact, they seem much more enthusiastic than on a lot of other lines. So I am really happy about that. I cannot stand the tipping culture we have in the U.S. I really think we need to do something about that, but that is a bigger conversation for later. And oh boy, that's my finger. Anyway, next, I think this is 11, the galley. I love that it's both self-service and table service. Like, everything they serve, you can go up to the booth of the station and order it there and walk away with it, or you can order it from one of the crew and they'll bring it to you. I think that is an absolutely brilliant idea, and I don't think that's something that other cruise lines are going to do. Like, the traditional buffet, that's going to be stuck forever, but I really like the way that Virgin created this hybrid, and I did both. And you know what? Depending on my mood is how I would choose, but it's great to have that option. And finally, I miss it already, the couch bed combo. People talk about this and not too sure about it. I loved it. I loved having the small bed because, it was just me. I don't really need this giant bed. for sleeping, and then to have the couch, where I could just sit during the day or lie down and take a nap, without getting the bed dirty, was amazing. Like, most of the cabins I sail in do not have couches, and if they do, they're kind of small. But having a couch that's the same size as a bed, absolutely brilliant, and something I definitely look forward to having in the future. So, wow. So, well, anyway, I guess we're done. That was 6 things I hated about Scarlet Lady, a few observations, and then 12 things that I absolutely loved about Scarlet Lady. So, definitely a balance towards loved, but even with the things I hated, they were not hard to deal with. So, you know what? I will take all of those problems because, you know what? They're the ones that I am really thankful for.